Bilang isang master black belt, alam natin na ang pinakaunang rule sa pag-improve ng kahit anong proseso is really simple. We start with the customer. Sa session nating ito, we'll look at the Lean Six Sigma approach kung paano natin exactly ito-translate yung mga raw customer feedback into hard actionable data. Okay, let's dive into this.
Ito yung titingnan natin ngayon. What customers really want, tapos identifying and segmenting customers, capturing voice of customer, translating VOC to CTQ, and finally, defining process metrics. Kung pamilyar na kayo sa DMAIC framework natin, this perfectly aligns with that. Dadaan tayo sa isang logical path mula dun sa mismong pain point ng customer hanggang sa pagbuo ng matibay na operational standard.
Section 1. What customers really want. Let's look at their true end goals. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is yung paradox na madalas nating ma-experience sa mga airlines, di ba? Laging nagmamalaki yung airline na on-time daw ang departures nila. Pero in reality, once magsara yung boarding door, on time, you're just stuck there sa tarmac ng ilang oras. You arrive late sa destination mo, at the worst part, mamimiss mo yung connecting flight mo dahil yung flight na yon umalis rin on time. So we have to ask, ito ba talaga yung gusto nating as customers?
Dito natin makikita yung operational failure kapag mali yung tinitrack mong metric. Sa Lean Six Sigma logic natin, if you are measuring the wrong thing, you're absolutely not resolving anything. Ang operational impact nito, mga frustrated customers na hindi umaabot sa meetings nila. As a customer, mas gusto natin na the airlines are held accountable for on-time arrivals kaysa sa on-time departures. Kasi yung arrival time, dyan pumapasok yung tunay na value para sa atin. We really need to shift our perspective at tukuyin muna kung sino ba talaga itong mga customers natin.
Which brings us to identifying and segmenting customers. Bago tayo kumuha ng kahit anong data, let's establish kung sino ba talaga yung sumusukat ng mga metrics na ito. In LSS, ang definition natin ng customer is anyone who benefits from your output. Hindi lang sila strictly yung end buyer o yung nagbabayad. For example, sa isang BPO setting o kaya sa isang logistics supply chain dito sa Pilipinas, ang customer mo pwede rin yung next department na tatanggap ng report mo o kaya yung delivery rider na nag-aantay ng parcels mula sa warehouse ninyo. Kaya natin hinahati yan into internal at external customers. We always tend to think na ang customer ay laging yung nasa labas ng kumpanya, just like the airline passenger. Pero what's surprising and what we often discover in the field kapag nagraran tayo ng Lean Six Sigma projects, isang primary focus natin ay usually nasa internal customers. Sila yung mga fellow employees mo na nakadepende sa accuracy ng output mo every day. And knowing if they are internal or external isn't quite enough. Kailangan natin silang i-segment simply because different segments have entirely different needs. Kung isa lang yung standard mo para sa lahat, you're basically satisfying no one. Let's take an HR onboarding process as an example. May dalawang main segments dyan, ang new employee at ang hiring manager. Ang kailangan ng bagong hire, like malinaw na benefits discussion at mabilis na ID processing, is completely different sa kailangan ng hiring manager, na ang gusto lang naman talaga is ready to log in at magtrabaho na agad yung tao niya. Once we know exactly who they are, time to listen. Let's move to the data collection phase, capturing voice of customer or VOC. Shifting na tayo mula sa who, papunta sa what they're actually saying. There are several ways to capture that VOC. We have surveys, focus groups, interviews, and direct observations. Now, bilang isang Microsoft-certified trainer, I highly recommend leveraging tech here to speed things up. You can easily deploy Microsoft Forms para sa quick surveys, tapos run it through Microsoft Copilot to aggregate and summarize all that qualitative survey data in seconds. Very efficient. But if your target is strictly internal process improvements, there is a much better approach. So, the crucial point is, the absolute best method to capture internal VOC is by organizing Kaizen, lean events, or workouts. Normally, these run anywhere from 3 hours to a full day. Naka-focus tayo rito sa direct observation. Iniimbitahan natin yung mga internal customers sa iisang room kasama ng project team natin, so we can see and hear their daily pain points firsthand. From these discussions, we make the most important leap. Step 4. Translating VOC to CTQ. This right here is the core mechanism of Lean Six Sigma, ang pag-translate ng raw emotion into a solid, actionable standard.
This three-part translation workflow is exactly what we do in those lean events. Step 1, capture the voice of the customer. Step 2, translate it into a critical to quality metric, or CTQ. And step 3, turn that CTQ into process metrics. Super important na invited yung process customers ninyo during this event. Remember our golden LSS principle. We cannot improve what we cannot measure.
We call this language translation. Yung VOC kasi, it's almost always based on the customer's emotion and viewpoint. Let's say nasa isang Jollibee branch ka o kaya tumatawag sa GCash support. Ang unang sasabihin ng customer is, "Ang bagal naman." That is pure raw emotion. We absolutely have to translate that into the processor's language. Bakit kamo? Para alam mismo ng mga employees natin sa value stream kung ano exactly yung importanteng target nila sa daily work. We turn that emotion into an operational requirement. And that requirement is what we call a CTQ, or critical to quality. Ito yung mga measurable performance characteristics ng process nyo na critically important kay customer. Sila yung nagdedetermine kung gaano kagaling dapat ang isang process. By the way, if you need a quick refresher on this later, you can always check out the prerequisite Six Sigma Foundations course for a deeper dive. But for now, paano ba natin gagawing final process metrics itong mga CTQs?
Final output phase na tayo Defining process metrics. Dito natin ilalock-in yung mga metrics na talagang magmo-move ng needle natin.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Going back to our airline example from earlier, yung VOC or yung raw panic ng pasahero natin is ayokong ma-miss yung connecting flight call. Kapag translate natin yan into a CTQ standard, it becomes depart as late as possible without impacting the on-time arrival. Nawala na yung raw emotion, right? Naging isa na siyang logical, measurable standard na pwedeng i-execute ng operations team. And from this standard, we extract our true metrics.
And this brilliantly illustrates our final process metrics. So, instead of obsessing over on-time departures, ang susukatin na natin ngayon ay yung number of passengers who missed the flight and the percent on-time arrival. Kapag ito ang tinutukan ng airline, and imagine them using a real-time Power BI dashboard to track these actual outcomes instead of just vanity metrics. Siguradong hindi na tayo mamimiss ng flights natin. We finally measured what truly matters.
So before we wrap this up, gusto kong iwan itong tanong na ito sa inyo. If you were to audit your own workplace metrics right now, will your next process report post a record of actual arrivals or just departures? Sukatin ang tama para ma-improve ang tama. Apply this DMAIC mindset straight away to your teams and start measuring what your customers actually care about.